Hey boys, welcome back. We're up to the Cronulla Sharks for the Fan Hub videos. Let's get into it. Paul Gallen, highest rated player, 89. You know, whatever. Paul Gallen. Love him or hate him, I guess he's a decent player. But the likeness, I mean, it's a pretty good likeness, but I have seen like a perfect likeness for him on the community, so I have seen a better one, but it's a decent likeness. It's pretty good. Michael Ennis next. That's a it's actually pretty good. Like, the likeness is pretty good. It's just the hair. The hair is the only thing that's holding him back, in my opinion. I think the face and the body and like you got the tattoo there, whatever. But overall, it's good. Just the hair just makes it look a little strange. Yeah, just a little fix up, and that'd be pretty spot on. Wade Graham now. It's, yeah, not the best. It's okay. Yeah, honestly it doesn't really look like Graham at all, but Andrew Fafita. What an absolute prick. I'm not gonna go into it all, but like, seriously, you're a professional football player and you're like abusing a ref of a junior game. Like, Jesus, man. Not gonna get into it, but that is fucking low. But the likeness, pretty good. Actually, it's okay. It's sort of like the Graham one. It's decent. Well, actually, not really like the Graham one. More like the Michael Ennis one. It's decent. Just needs a couple of tweakings, but yeah. Michael Gordon now. Michael Gordon. Where's he going next year? Is he going to Eels? I should probably know this, but I don't think Sharks have re-signed him. I don't know if it's set in stone yet. Is it Eels? I think it is Eels. I think I was talking about him moving early, but I think he wants to stay at the Sharks for this year. If it is Eels, I don't know why he'd want to go there too soon anyway, because they're going badly and Sharks are actually going pretty good for once. But yeah, I mean, Gordon's getting pushed out with like the likes of having a Barber, obviously, and Valentine Holmes being a superstar in the making. Luke Lewis, a guy that he has just been around forever, Luke Lewis, and just, you know, you don't really see players who start on the wing in the NRL, like, have a full-on career on the wing in NRL, become like one of the best back rowers running around. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, he's a really good player. The likeness, really good. I thought the likeness was pretty spot on. Jack Bird. For a young player, for a fringe player, I think the likeness is really good. As the phone interrupts productions. That seems to happen a lot. I don't know why. I hardly ever get messages. I do one of these videos and fucking phone is going off and making life hell. But Nathan Gardner. I don't know where Gardner is. I think he must just be playing like reserve grade, I guess. Can't really get a start at the moment, but I know a couple of years ago he was like, he really burst onto the scene. He got a fair few runaway tries, like length of the field efforts. Chris Harrington. Not a great likeness. I've seen a really good Chris Harrington on the community, so I've seen better. Valentine Holmes, here's the gun right here. Queenslander, should point out, absolute champ. This kid, he is a superstar. Like, how many times has he like pulled Sharks out of like being level or just behind, and he's kicked the field goal or he's got a special try. He is a player. He is an absolute superstar. Jeff Robson. You know, not a massive fan of Robson, but he's been really good for the Sharks, honestly. He's just sort of done his business. Nothing special, but he's just controlled them. And he's done his job, so. And I think the likeness is really good. Blake Ashford hasn't really cracked it at the Sharks. You know, I thought he was a really good player at the Tigers, but with the mass exodus of the Tigers pretty much going to the Sharks a couple of years ago, he hasn't really gone on to much. Because they got a lot of young backs. Jared Beale, one of the main centers. Really liked Beale as a player. I think this likeness is pretty decent as well. I think it's pretty good. Brown, actually haven't really seen too much, so I can't really comment. Kyle Stanley. I didn't even know Kyle Stanley played for the Sharks. I'm thinking of Chase Stanley for Dragons, obviously. I didn't know Kyle Stanley played for the Sharks. He probably injured, like, you know, he's one of these guys that just gets injured non-stop. Very unfortunate. Benny Barber, actually been pretty good lately. I think he gets a bit scrutinized at times. I still think he's a really good player. Just a lot of pressure on him, really. Like, people expect these length of the field tries, they expect magic, and if it doesn't happen, then people just say he has a bad game. But you know, I think he's been pretty good for the Sharks. Fecky, good young center. Likeness, not too bad. It's pretty decent. David Fafita, another scum of NRL. Yeah, we'll just move on from him. sorry, any Fafita fans, but that's my opinion. Sam Tagatese. Sam Tagatese is a monster, dude. He's a beast. I'm pretty sure he started off like in the backs as well, like years and years ago. But he is one of, like, and you can tell he's been in the backs because he is fast. He's a fast front rower. Anthony Tupou. You know, a few years ago, he was one of the best back rowers running around. His form hasn't been that great over the last few years, but he's still a solid back rower. Obviously, he's been out injured for a while now with that knee from bloody Hurrell, who fucking almost took his head off. But Hurrell's done that a few times, honestly. I remember when Reynolds got injured. He like hurt his ribs or whatever. Hurrell pretty much kneed him in the ribs, but obviously nothing came of that either because it was only like his ribs that didn't like knock his head off. But you know, I'm not up Hurrell about that. It's just something that he's done that no one's really told him not to do. But hopefully he can snap out of it because it's a bit, it's pretty dangerous, honestly. But Laitelli, another really good back. The Sharks have some really good young players coming through. They actually have a really good team. I don't really like their team, but they have a good team. But yeah, that's the Sharks done. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.